Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Basa and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Arda Guler. Barcelona cannot sign the 17.5 million euro prodigy this summer, and they will try to seek a pre-agreement for 2024 for the player. We are also going to be discussing on that. Secondly, talking about this other report claiming that Barca are pushing to make 4 signings by all costs and also sell at least 6 players before the end of the summer window. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. According to a report from David Bernabeu Riveta via Sport, it is impossible for Barca to sign Turkish sensation Arda Guler this summer. However, that does not go to say that they will not negotiate his arrival. From the Catalan standpoint, bringing in the youngster and paying the required fee will be a challenge. However, the administration will still try and seal the deal so that Guler can arrive in the summer of 2024. At just 18 years of age, the youngster has been making headlines for quite a long time now. There is undeniably something special in his feet, and no club in Europe's top 5 league wishes to miss out on him. The prodigy began his football journey with the under-19 setup at Fenerbahce and made his debut for the first team last season. He made just 2 starts for the Turkish club in 2021-22, but has become close to a regular feature for them in less than a year. In 20 Super League appearances, in 2022-23, Guler scored 4 goals and provided 3 assists for Fenerbahce. He made his debut with the Turkish national team in November of last year, even scoring a crucial goal for the setup earlier this month against Wales. Real Madrid, AC Milan, and Newcastle United are just some of the other top teams vying for the signature of the young star, given his relatively low release clause. After all, it will only take 17.5 million euros to sign the highly appraised talent. The question that arises thus is whether Arda Guler contemplates the next step in his career this summer, or he prefers to stay at Fenerbahce another season. Barcelona, as it stands, can only offer Arda Guler a spot for the 2024-25 season. The ball is thus in the Turkish prodigy's park. Obviously, Barcelona have been facing difficulties in signing some of their desired targets, and it is really a big blow for us that players that are so qualitative that we really need in our team, just because of financial reasons, Barca are facing a lot of difficulties. Arda Guler has been one of the top, or let me say one of the hot prospects now in Europe that plenty of the top clubs in Europe want to sign him. You know, he's such a talented midfielder, and of course, it's been a while the world saw this kind of talented youngster in midfield. Barcelona have long been linked with the player, and yesterday there was a report saying that Barca, Real, and AC Milan, among the other clubs showing interest, are in the front race for the player. But today, this report claiming how Barca has seen the deal so difficult to go through, even though it's a quite, I think, relatively cheap release clause of just 17.5 million euros when you consider the talents that this guy has. Barca still can shell out even 17.5 million for a player. It tells you the lowest of lows that this club is heading to, and it's quite really scary how things have turned upside down for Barca. You know, a club that usually buy players for 80 million, 90 million. Right now, Barca are crumbling. They are crumbling financially since Bartomeu's reign. And honestly, it's really sad that we can miss out on a lot of talented players because of money. And how are we supposed to compete in Champions League? How are we supposed to compete in other competitions strongly to be favorites when we don't have players that we can even sign for 15 million? There are players that they will tell you that Barca can't sign the player because they saw the transfer fee is too high for 15 million. I've seen that, and it's terrible. It's terrible. You know, look at players like Zubimendi release clause is 60 million. Back in the days, Barca would at least shell 55 just to bargain, but now they are saying that even 60 or 50 will not even go because they don't have the money. It's too high. They complain. Arda Guler is a talent that I've watched his video on YouTube. He's so amazing. He is so amazing, and I think Barca losing out on the player is really it's really bad. But it's not like they are going out completely. They are saying that they want to try and see if they can negotiate with the player's representative for they can book him for next season. They can book him for next season. It's still a possibility. That is what Barca are trying to do currently. So it remains to be seen if the player himself will accept such a proposal. Nobody knows the player's preference. Nobody knows if he likes Real or Barca or AC. Nothing has been said about that. But all those top clubs are trying their best to show that they are putting the efforts to sign this talented prodigy. Then moving on to the final story of discussion, there has been not much significant movement on the transfer front at Barca apart from the signing of İlkay Gundogan, but the club are planning to make some major moves in the coming days and weeks. Indeed, according to Gerard Romero today, Barca plan to make total of 4 signings in the summer while selling 6 players. That's their plan, and they have informed the same to La Liga. The 4 players that Barca are intended to sign are Gundogan, which they have done, Inigo Martinez, who is also coming, Vitor Roque, close, and a pivot midfielder still unknown. As mentioned earlier, İlkay Gundogan has already arrived at Barca earlier this week. Meanwhile, an agreement is understood to be in place to sign Inigo Martinez as a free agent, although an official announcement will only be made after his contract with Athletic Club expires on June 30. As for Roque, a €45 million agreement has been reached with Atlético Paranense, while the player will be pending a 6-year contract until 2029. But there is still no confirmation of that deal either, and doubts continue to remain about the player's registration, which could see the young striker's arrival get postponed. Finally, the pivot position continues to pose a huge challenge for the club, but they are making some huge progress in their pursuit for Brozovic. However, they have just 6 days to make an offer for the Croatian, who is also being touted by Al Nassr. As far as the exits are concerned, Barca have had little to no success thus far, with the club failing on their attempts to sell those players. Of course, players like Ansu, Ferran, they have said no. So Barca face some difficulties. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.